Hello, hello, hello. This is Lisa with Inspired Heart Intuitive, and I'm here to help you live a whole and healed, peaceful, and prosperous life. Let me get myself over here as well so that I can have everyone. I can see folks when you guys come. I'm also going to put in here my email address and go on and be sure everybody has that information for personal readings. Hello, dear. How are you? Hello, hello. And Reiki. All right. I got to put this information in here. Try this again. Hopefully everything with my son is all calmed down tonight. I think we're good. Right, youngins. And we're going to put my PayPal in here as well until one of my moderators gets here. So I apologize. And we will be on our way. How are you, Miss Trista? Hello, everyone, as you're coming in. I'm almost ready here. I apologize. Please hit the like button as you're coming in, and we're going to get started. So we're going to talk tonight about the Strength of the Empath again last night. And I appreciate you coming back. So some of this is going to be kind of a repeat. A little sick. Oh, honey, it seems to be going around. Illnesses are going around. So we're going to kind of start over a little bit. And I decided to go do Google Hangouts this time around, just in case I end up inviting someone in. And who knows what is going to happen at this time that we are together. Okay, so last night we started this conversation, and it's unlisted right now. I'm just going to kind of start it off from the beginning, so I apologize again for those that were here last night, but sometimes it's good to hear it again. Right, on this channel, we've been talking quite a bit about empaths, narcissists, spiritual gifts. We've been talking about toxic relationship recovery, manifestation, and all of these things. A lot of these things are very intertwined, and I think it was quite important to discuss the empath, because a lot of you that come into this channel, hello, Miss Steph, are with me, you are empathic, okay? You are, in fact, spiritually, my dear, darling, spiritually gifted 23, Miss Trista, has her name, and I love that name. So as such, I think too often we start really just, we focus in on the negative, on how they've hurt us and how they've done all these things. Last night, I'm going to review some things. And so as empaths, there's certain things that happen to us, okay? Because we are the healers, the cleaners, the birthers, the manifestors. We are all that wrapped up in one, okay? As empaths, that's really our here during this time. And if you're in the least bit spiritually in tune, even what happened today, if you saw the earlier video I posted today, there was an incident where a young man came in and shot up an ex-girlfriend's place of business. He only shot 3 people, and then he was injured and fatally wounded. But there's so much that's going on, right? You can trip over a narcissist around the corner, just the same way that we come together and we have learned, together. It's like, where are all these empaths coming from? Where are all these intuitives coming from? Well, they're coming from everywhere, and it's fantastic and it's amazing. But as an empath, what happens is blessings, Cassandra, is that we end up becoming such victims. Okay, so I'm going to go over this list. Okay, and I'm just going to ask my empathic friends that are in this room right now if this fits you guys. Okay, as as empaths, have you noticed that you absorb everyone else's energy around you? You walk into a room, you get close to somebody, and all of a sudden you're like, ew, right? It's ickiness, right? We have plenty of ickiness around us, right? We carry other people's loads that aren't ours, they're burdens. We take on everybody else's burdens, right? That are not ours. We know when people are issues, right? We know when people are depressed, when they're down, we pick up on that. You'll pick up on it. I'll pick up before anybody else in the room does. There could be, their best friend could be standing right next to them, and you're like, "What's wrong with Sarah over there?" Sarah. And nothing wrong with Sarah. Bull, there's something wrong with Sarah. All right. We can get into relationships so deeply, and get so accustomed to wanting to heal that we then become codependent. We're seeking to heal more than them, more than we're seeking to heal ourselves. So we have this ugly, icky, symbiotic codependent relationship. We don't stick up for ourselves. This is before we become elevated, right? And we take on the responsibility of others. For others' happiness, sorrow. If somebody's upset, not feeling well, they're unhappy, we take all that one. So if those fit you, there's about 5 things there. If those fit you, you can just say yes. You could type 1, you could type 5. They fit, right? Because as empaths, before we learn how to truly walk in our strengths, that's what happens to us. We live at that lower level. Okay. Now I will tell you, we do a lot of that because we are, hello, Bella Karma. Nice to meet you. We do that because we have yet to learn all of our strengths and capabilities. And we do that because we have yet to heal ourselves. What I said at the beginning, we are the healers of this earth. We are the healers. We are the cleaners. We're the birthers. We're the manifestors of this earth. We have incredibly strong connections to the spirit world. But most of us, I will tell you, a lot of us had such great injury during our time on this earth and in past lives, most likely, that we end up having wounds, deep wounds, that go unhealed. And when the deep wounds go unhealed, we end up attracting negativity, wounded people. That's why, remember at the beginning, I said, all the things that I talk about on this channel, manifestation, spiritual gifts, toxic relationships, when we do our intuitive, our tarot readings, they are all linked together. Think about it. You are actually manifesting negative people in your world because you are sending out negative vibrations, because you're sending out injured vibrations, unhealed wounds, and not being self-partnered. That's what you attract. That's the law of attraction. You attract back what you put out. The law of attraction says, and we just did a video on that last week, the law of attraction says that which you put out is that which you will get back. We affect vibrationally everyone. We're all empathic. So those of you that are watching me now will watch me on the replay. We are empaths. So we have a higher ability to send out and receive. Why? Because we're the triage nurses. We get into your area and we're like, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and I see this deep wound in you. But guess what? It's easier to heal somebody else than it is to heal yourself. Because a lot of times we don't want to look deep down. Antoinette, you said, so glad you found out what it was, because as a child, no one can understand it. Yes. You've had anxiety feelings since a child and totally understand it now, but it took a toll on you growing up. I'm sure it did. If you go back and watch, I say often on this channel how blessed I was, because I grew up in a charismatic Christian household. And it gets the whole speaking in tongues, all of the gifts of the Spirit. So the gift of prophecy was very well accepted in my household. My mother, I mean, it runs, and on my father's side, we have prophetic people as well. So it runs deep, as they say in Star Wars. The Force runs strong. The Force is strong in this one, right? The Force is strong in my family. So when I started having dreams, and I went and told Mother, she was like, "Oh, you got the gift. All right, what'd you dream?" You know, it was accepted. It was just natural behavior. So I was blessed in that realm. But I know that a lot of people that I've known over the course of time, you know, from a young child, a teenager, it wasn't, nobody knew what the heck was going on. You know, if you told somebody back in the day that you were seeing angels, or someone came to visit you last night and talked to you, they were ready to send you to a psychiatrist, put you on lithium. I mean, they were just thinking you were just gone. So, as empaths, though, this is what we have. My point is this: we have to do the work on ourselves. So we stop manifesting people that hurt us. So we stop manifesting bad relationships. So we stop manifesting narcissists, because we're putting out a higher vibration. And then what we start manifesting is each other, right? Higher vibrational beings. And those beings come into our realm and together. Now, benefits. Oh, I hate there's no time here. I can't see the time. The benefit of being an empath. Our intuitive abilities, we have them. And the more, wonderful. Yeah. The intuitive abilities we have, the more we learn how to manage them, the more they get. It's like, right? Spiritual muscles. You have to exercise your spiritual muscles. It's the same thing. So automatically, I will tell you, as an empath, you're clairvoyant, probably psychic, clairsentient. Some of us are clairaudient. As I've said before, to a great degree, some of us are almost, I would say, telepathic. I know I can hear someone else's thoughts from time to time. I can hear someone else's thoughts. Now, when you are an underdeveloped empath, when you haven't become in a greater way self-partner, you hear and feel everybody's stuff. You hear everybody's issues. You feel everybody's pain. It's like all this input, all this stimulus coming in at once, and it can get rather overwhelming. And when I hear, it's almost empathic AD, right? You have no way really of prioritizing what's what. I know some empaths, as they've grown in it, they'll have their spirit guides or other spirits will just come and like kind of mess with them at all times of day or night. But you have the ability to say, no, we're not doing this. Now, you honestly do have the ability, you have the authority to say no. We're going to talk walking in that authority a little bit too. We are, at the core, we're spiritual warriors too. And we're going to talk a little bit about that too. That's one of the benefits of being empath, right? We also can tap very easily into the universal consciousness. That's why we can feel and hear and see all around us. Tap into the universal consciousness, so it's also a great responsibility, because not everybody can as easily as we can. So since we can do it easily, we have the responsibility with what we see and sense in that consciousness, then to utilize the spiritual power and authority we have to begin to heal it. That is spiritual warfare at its very essence. All right. We are, as I was saying last night, great manifestors. Why? Because we're birthers. Whether you're male or female, we're birthers. It's absolutely amazing. As you grow in your empathic abilities and become stronger spiritually overall, then you learn that you can begin to think and speak and say a thing. We understand innately that because we can tap in so easily and we move between the two realms so easily, that we can go in and grab it and bring it in. We have this fantastic ability to take on the burdens of others, wash it all up, and spit it back out and be like, nope, we're not doing this. Take this, but let me give you something back. And what we have to learn is that when we take it, it's not really we're taking it on ourselves per se, right? We're taking it simply for the purpose of healing the other person. Catch and release. Don't catch and hold. All right? Catch and release. So we're great manifestors because we have great faith. We're natural healers. Now also, as I was thinking about this today, not only are we natural healers, you guys, each and every one of you, in the next time that you are meditating, I want you to feel, to be very conscious of your hands. As some of you know, I practice Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner, both video in this fashion and in person. And has anyone ever told you guys you have healing hands? Have you ever gotten around someone that was sick or someone that was sad and your hands just start burning? Has that ever happened to you guys? I know I'm not the only one, for goodness sake. Tell me, talk to me, guys. That's because we have right to heal. And the transference of that healing energy sometimes is done by other means. Okay? By simply concentrating and transmitting the energy we're doing. Okay? Sometimes. But if you've ever noticed, and I'm waiting for the leg, I can't be the only one. If I am the only one in this chat room whose hands is ever heated up, I'm speaking over you guys right now that you're going to begin to get the healing. You're going to begin to feel healing hands, the healing power of Creator, God, whatever name, Goddess, the healing power in your hands. I'm over you guys right now because we need more healers. Good. Thank you, Trista. Oh. Yes. So I'm speaking over you that it be increased. So you have to trust your energy too. Trust the energy that's flowing through you. Your hands heat up and sweat. Yep. No. Cassandra. Good. Only once when you're praying for someone. Yep, I noticed that. So I'm not saying you're gonna walk around like an X-Man or something, a mutant with your hands hot at all times. What I am saying is that, yes, when you're praying for someone, whatever, if you've noticed your hands heating up, that's energy coming, wanting to, you're a conduit. We are channels and conduits for, in the church, we call it the anointing. in spiritual world, the spirituality, new age world, we call it the energy, like the life force. In Reiki, it's called the universal. We are conduits and channels for that life force. That's why we can feel it so much. That's why these life force everywhere around us, until we learn to kind of prioritize it. You know, healing presence, but it never. Try it. Try it. If there is a good Reiki teacher in your area, and if you guys want to email me and tell me where you are, I can probably try to help you find one. I would recommend, if you can, to study underneath a good Reiki master and become a Reiki practitioner. It's probably going to be another 3 or to 6 months before I start going around the country to do that. But the ability to be a Reiki practitioner helps you learn how to be the proper channel of energy, of the anointing, without your body interfering in the process. So I don't know how many of you, have prayed for people and whatnot. So I don't know anybody's background here. I'm just going to speak from my own background, and then we're going to continue through. When I was in the active Christian ministry and I would pray for people, and there'd be, a lot of people, or during the course of a night after, I was done with the sermon, I would be exhausted afterwards, right? Because it was so much, I was kind of interfering in the process. I was feeling like somehow my body itself needed to be in the mix. But it really didn't. Because my only role is to allow me and to the person that needs to receive it. That's my role. I should be kind of like, I've got a straw here in my cup, right? My role is to be the straw. Your role is to be the straw. Okay? You're not, oops. We're not to be the cup, right? So the straw, all the straw does is it channels the liquid as I'm drawing the liquid out. So when you are ministering to someone's presence, right? You need to be the straw. That other person needs to be the one that's drinking, right? And you're just the straw. Spirit is pouring through you. That is taking the energy, but the straw doesn't get tired. The straw doesn't get worn out. It's just a straw. So Reiki begins to teach you how to be just the channel and not interfere. The beautiful thing about just being the channel is the blessing that you get at the same time, because you're not trying to interfere in the process. You're not feeling like this is somehow, I have to really work at this. Let the energy, let the anointing work. It's not you, it's not me. Okay? So that's very important. And another of being an empath is our heightened ability to connect with our inner guides, our spirit guides, and the angels up above. And every time I say that, I feel Archangel Ariel right here. She's always right on the shoulder. I have her sword tattooed on my shoulder. Every time. So whenever I refer to the angels, I feel her. She's always here. So we see, right? We see. We have a greater ability because we are able to tap into the universal consciousness. When we're in our meditative states, we have a greater ability to like go, right? We have a greater ability to go to to the spirit realm. Sometimes I don't want to come back. A lot of times I don't want to come back, but I do. I think you guys know what I mean by go. Like literally, you're not in your body anymore. You're not. Your spirit has decided we're going to go chill out. Question. Okay. When I pray, I see an Indian woman with arms up in heaven. Oh. She's one of your ancestral guides. She's one of your ancestors, right? One of your spirit guides. She's chosen to come and work with you. You see, Christianity, right, has closed us off of so much of this understanding. Closed us off from this whole entire realm of the spirit, of the spiritual world and operation. So we need to, it's really incumbent upon us to become enlightened and broaden our knowledge so that we can walk in the fullness of our power. Now, all of the things that I just spoke about as well, again, that is part of spiritual, it can be spiritual warfare. There are some empaths, I think that's what I'm start calling us, spiritual warriors, that spiritual healers, what have you, that we see things over a city, over a state, over a country, over the world, and we're able to take on certain burdens and pains. Our authority in the spirit realm from it. In all actuality, from that oppression. In all actuality, when you are able to pray with someone and they get healed, or you're able to speak with someone and help them get a spiritual healing and emotional healing, you're setting them free from oppression of some form or fashion. You're setting them free. Yeah, she is praying with you. And she's also guiding your prayers as you speak. So you're setting them free. And that's all warfare is about, right? Setting a captive free. Because we have not had the teaching on how to truly enhance our capabilities and truly walk in the light and the power. You know, in the Bible, again, I teach from a biblical perspective. When Jesus said, "Greater things than these will you do." Well, Jesus is a pretty amazing thing, didn't he? I tell you what, he also went up to heaven. Moses and Elijah came down and talked to him. So when people say, "Oh, well, the dead don't come back and talk to you," really? They came and talked to Jesus. Why can't they talk to me? You know, there's just this level of control that's there. So when we allow God to not be put in the box, look the things we can do. So we have a great amount of authority in the spiritual realm as it pertains to anything that goes on this earth, because we are the keepers of this earth. Humanity has the least on this earth. So we have the authority to say, I don't want you in my house. And we have that authority, and that's what we're to be using. Now, how is our power? Because that's really where it is. You truly want to recover from and overcome toxic relationships, lifelong injury to your chakras, to your emotions, to your heart, to your spirit. You need to walk in your power. If you don't want to be in a narcissistic relationship ever again, or another toxic relationship ever again, and you want to gain power over perhaps your family members or whatnot, so bothered and so injured by these things, you need to embrace your power. So let's start talking about how one does that. We step into our power. As we step into our power, darkness has to leave the room once we've gotten there. Because we're light. We embody light. When you turn on a light in a dark room, what happens? Darkness goes away because it can't be in the same space as light. It's very important. Darkness cannot be in the same space as light. So when oppressive spirits leave a person, that's why it is so important to fill that void up with light and love, with God's love, with the anointing, with whatever you want to call it. It is very important to fill it with light, because darkness cannot exist where light is. Fear cannot exist where love abounds. I need to move this because it's reflecting on my nerves. Okay? Remember that. So, also when we realize who we are, this is where we left off yesterday, who we are divinely, that we are of the divine, by the divine. We are divinity in and of ourselves, because we have been created in the image and the likeness of the great creator, of supreme spirit. Because of that, when we walk in that power, when we truly realize who we are, is where we left off. We will no longer need to do things like, the saging and the rituals and the this and the that. You won't need the physical representation of the spiritual occurrence the more you walk, because you will understand that it is not the sage itself that does anything. These tarot cards don't do a thing. They're cardstock, laminated cardstock. Some of them have very pretty pictures on them. They don't do anything. It is the spiritual capabilities of the one who is utilizing them. It is your spiritual intention that clears a house. It is your spiritual intention that clears someone from being oppressed. It is your spiritual intention that affects a physical healing in a human being. It is your spiritual intention that does that, because when you set your spiritual intention, you are setting your vibration level to that which you intend to happen in the physical realm. You are moving subatomic particles and participating in creation with Creator to bring about an outcome on the earth. Now, Do I utilize things and have? Yes, I have. In fact, I have my amethysts here. I have one on either side of me. I really like. They're pretty. I have, my citrine. I'll put on top of one of my decks of cards, just so it clears it out. It's running around here. Do I need them? No. Sometimes I just like the vibration that they give off. I utilize them sometimes in certain things. Do I still do some rituals? A few. But I don't sage my house. I don't smudge. In all actuality, that stuff stays outside. And we'll talk about exercise in another 30 minutes. And when you step into your power fully, you'll realize there is no opposite to source. There is no equal but opposite force to the Creator, because He is supreme. And because you are divine, you are able to channel and utilize. You are here by His authority, therefore you have authority. Now, how do we do this? Step number, you shed your fear of oppositional spirits, because darkness is drawn to fear. Shed your fear of oppositional spirits. Because in all actuality, they're lower level than you are, or I am. Take my glasses off. They're lower level energy than what you are or I am. So why should I fear them? They only have the power we give them. And we feed them through fear, anger, negativity, doubt, worry, disgust. Remember, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love, right? And of sound mind. So shed your fear of oppositional spirits. It's the first step. The second step is see everything with love. See everything with love. The eyes of love are compassionate. This is a deep, deep truth for an empath to learn. Help you heal yourself. It will help you in the healing process of others. It's a deep lesson for the empath to learn. When you look at everyone and everything with through the eyes of love, and the eyes of love are compassionate, what begins to happen is you can look through the negativity, the doubt, and the fear. You look through it, past it, beyond it, to the source of the injury, to the truth behind it, to the root cause of why someone is acting or reacting the way that they are. You have to look past that, and you're continuing to show love. Darkness gets uncomfortable and has to leave. Back to the first statement. Darkness cannot exist where light is. Have you ever noticed that when you have a difficult person you're working with, or a difficult person in your family, you've heard the phrase, kill them with kindness? Well, there is that killing them with kindness. Really what it is if the more love you show them, the more uncomfortable they get. How are you, dear Brochet? Hello, darling. Hello, Brochet. The more love and passion you show someone that is acting a fool or is angry, the less they can be angry, because darkness cannot exist where light is. It cannot exist where light. Hey, Lolly. So because darkness cannot exist where light is, you bring love and light into a situation and you see someone through the eyes and the eyes of love with compassion. The truth behind the why behind the what gets super uncomfortable. Not only does the why behind the what, thank you, my dear, get super uncomfortable, but then the individual that you're loving on, all of a sudden, all the barriers start coming down. And all of a sudden, I will tell you, when someone, and I had this happen even today, the issue that happened with my son last night that caused me to get off my live, it was a relationship issue. And I'm not going to go into great detail. All I'm going to say is the young lady that he's in a relationship with some self-esteem issues. So we all know as women, some of us young, some of us older, that when you have self-esteem issues, you will tend to self-sabotage everything in your life. And you do it subconsciously because deep down inside, you don't feel you deserve it. I'm going somewhere. Go at me. So, my son is just beside himself. And my my dear friend, Miss Shonda Rise, Shonda from Shonda Rise Astrology, she said to me, because I made a statement, I wish he wouldn't tell me my son wouldn't tell me all these things because I was not going to be able to have a good relationship with her. And my father never interfered in my relationships, which he didn't. Because he didn't want to look at the man, right, in a certain type of way. And Shonda said, well, why not? Why can't you have a good relationship with her? And we went back and forth a little bit. And at the end of the day, I'm like, this is what you wrote down. This is how you live your life. Love her. Speak good things over her. Speak over her. Manifest it in her life, basically. And all the things and all the ways she should be. So I did that this morning because there's a lot of, she's a wonderful girl. I really do like her a lot. She's a wonderful mother. She's a wonderful stepmother to my, and I put that in air quotes because she is a very good mother to my old, not hers. That was my son, my son had Rayleigh before he met her. And she's the one who just had the baby here. So all these things, and my son just loves the bejeebers out of her. And for that boy to settle down, he can't let this one go. I can't let him let this one go. So anyway, point being is I showed her just love and just loved on her. And at first it was uncomfortable for her because I'm like, I'm building her up. You're a great mother. My son loves you. You love my son. You love my granddaughter. Things about you. You're intelligent. You're caring. You're strong. All these things. Strong woman. Beautiful. All these things. And she got super uncomfortable. What happened is I broke through because I went through the darkness. I went through it. This is our strength as empaths. Love is the strongest force in the universe. Love and light. Strongest energies. Love is light. Light is love. The strongest energies in the entirety of this universe and every universe beyond. And we agreed to come here during this time, in this lifetime, and we agreed to be channels for love and light. We agreed to come and heal a wounded humanity. We agreed to come on this earth and help birth the next level of ascension of humanity. What we signed up for when we said we were coming to this earth in this lifetime. So it's about gosh darn time we start walking in it. Because he has given us power. We have abilities others do not, and we agreed to use them. So understand me when I say this. You see and love your way through the issue to the person. You've heard the saying, love the sin, love the sin or hate the sin, right? I'm not saying that this is sin. I'm just saying, love the sin or hate the sin. See through it. See through the oppositional spirits. See beyond it with love and love your way through it and shine a light lovingly on the darkness. Darkness has no choice but to flee. So when people say to me, well, aren't you concerned about like spirits? No. I've long my boundaries. And the only time it affects me is when I allow it to. And I'm like, why is this affecting me? What is going on? Why am I letting it do it? Healed. And now I have the practice. I practice self-surgery so much now. It's not even funny. I'm really good at it now. I practice self-surgery, self-service surgery all the time. That's what we need to do. And I guarantee you, as you walk more in your power, you're going to begin to get more healed as we go along. The final step is literally to step into your power and see energies with love and speak with authority when you're speaking on a subject, when you're speaking to a spirit. The reason why I don't have things happening in this house is because I have said this home does not house oppositional forces. Home of love and light. So when I'm praying for someone and someone's dealing with something, I don't pussyfoot around. Okay. Now, I'm not saying anything against rituals, because some people need rituals to get to the point where they can finally release the ritual and understand it is the spiritual intention and the spiritual power that's really doing this and not the physical thing. Okay. So this just helps our little minds understand what we're doing, because we're saging, or we're doing what have you. Or for a long time, the biggest thing was to, if there's somebody named you're trying to get over, or some issue, write a letter to the person, and it's still very cathartic to do that. I did that with my ex last year. I still have those letters, I think, somewhere here in my computer, where I wrote this. I typed up this long letter. He never got it. I never burned it, but about how he made me feel. How could he do this to me? How much injury he caused? Everything. I just spewed it all out. I got it out. You got to get it out. I got it out. Now, typically back in the day, somebody would have said, okay, now print it off, and then let's take it outside and we're going to burn it. And that's symbolic of it done. It's cleared. We have closure. but I no longer need that. So what I just, by my mere act of writing it and missing it, that was it. So I don't, there, no, oppositional spirits don't come here. Who? My ex-husband. My ex-husband. Anyway, oppositional spirits don't come here. When I get in the presence of an oppositional spirit, bye. Goodbye. I might say it underneath my breath. I might just say it internally. My higher self just might speak to the spirit realm. You have no place here. I'm not dealing with you. That's spiritual. Steph, what are you asking who, baby? That's the principle when you see people casting out spirits and whatnot. You walk in authority. Jesus spoke about that. We have the authority to say mountain, so you speak to this mountain, move, and it moves. Right? You can't let out so much pain. Yeah, you can out, baby. It might be a little bit at a time, but you have to let it out. Because the only way you're going to raise your vibrational level and truly step in your power is if you release it. So don't say you can't, because you can. It might be a little bit at a time, but you can. Layer by layer, you can and you must. And we've talked about that before, my dear. You must. It's for your own good, not for theirs. Not for theirs, but for yours. You see, again, you can't raise yourself to the level. You're seeking to walk at the same level that, and I'm nobody, right? I'm not any great, I'm not Joyce Meyer or something. I'm not Oprah. But you're seeking to walk at the same spiritual level that I do. You got to let that pain go. You got to get healed. Because if you don't, let me tell you what happens. There's going to be people or a person that's going to come into your life that literally will be assigned to spiritually mortally wound you. My ex-husband was. He was assigned and brought into my life to spiritually mortally wound me. And he did it so fast. Attempted. In the matter of 18 months, start to finish, 18 months, the light was gone from my eyes. At some point, I'm going to start showing, one of these times, I'm going to start showing you guys pictures, like sharing my screen, put pictures up. If I have any more left, I tried to get rid of most of them. And it might not do it even justice. You'll repeat the same cycle until you get it right. Exactly, Brochet. But he was sent to spiritually mortally wound me. The light was gone from me. I didn't hardly smile. I had no. Everybody just said it's like the life is gone from you. Your joy is gone. And I didn't see it. I'm still laughing, but I was exhausted all the time. Here I have this narcissist in my house, sleeping in my bed, messing with my head, right? Y'all remember that song? Sleeping in my bed, messing with my head? Late 80s, early 90s. maybe early 90s. Y'all remember that song. Was that Jodeci? Oh, man. Anyway, he was here all the time. He was washing my clothes, making my food. You know, we were married. He was sent to mortally wound me. And he almost succeeded. But God said it was enough. And allowed me to see the one thing that he knew. I'd finally get up off my behind and back up and get rid of him. I know, old school. All right, girl. All right, Roche. So until we step into our power, people, until we let go of our pain and heal it, we can't really step in our power. Remember, darkness cannot exist where light is. Darkness cannot remain where light is. Fear cannot remain where love is. So since that's a spiritual principle, since that's a physical principle we can see, you know, if I were to turn these lights off, it'd get dark, right? Because that's what happens. The other side of my room over here is dark. Why? Because I don't have the overhead. The moment I turn the light on, darkness flees. The moment you turn your light on, darkness flees. It cannot remain. By the same token, if you still remain in darkness, you cannot turn on the light. You cannot walk in your fullness of your power. So you have to decide, are you going to let the opposition mortally wound you, or are you going to walk in your strength and your power and rise up and be the giant you were meant to be? That's the decision we have to make. That's the empowerment I seek for each and every one of you that's under the sound of my voice and watching me later. That's what I seek for each and every one of you. Because when you get to this point, is life always easy? No. But let me tell you something. It's one heck of a lot easier to be walking in constant manifestation than it is to be walking in partial light, knowing that the flood of love and light is right there for me. It makes it a lot easier to deal with life's things. Yeah, you need to, yes, Steph, write it down. Write it down. Because you're not going to be able to speak it. Write it down. Write your feelings down. Little by little. Little by little. So again, shed your fear of oppositional spirits. They really, you wish I could. Am I not your life coach, Brochet? I thought I was. Honey, I'll be your life coach. Maybe that's the direction this channel needs to go, guys. A life coach? I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why I have this channel, right? Okay. We've been talking for an hour. The hour just went like that. All right, I'm going to open this up. Okay, let me just take a step back. How you don't know my story? You need child. Let's set up a time you and I could talk. We'll work something out. Because that's really what I do in all actuality. Okay, do you guys, honey, listen to me. Everyone under the sound of my voice, including my lovely Brochet. I have worked with women and men that have been through things unspeakable. And the one thing that I know, is there and no pain too great, none, for God, none. The deeper the trauma, the greater the triumph. The deeper, the greater the testimony. And when I meet people that have gone through hell, I know that there's greatness, that God has a tremendous plan for their life. That darkness tried to snuff out your light. And you're still here. Crochet, are you sorry, sweetie? Steph? The reason why people come to you for advice is because that's who you are. And because when you've been through things, you can't ask advice from somebody that ain't been through nothing. You can't. If you haven't been through anything, baby, I can't talk to you. There's nothing you could tell me. You haven't had to, we all each have our own, so nobody's trying to have a badge of honor here. But until you're worried about where your next meal's coming from, whether or not you're going to be homeless, until you've had death in the family, until you've been physically, sexually, emotionally, and I'm not saying that you all have to be that, but until you've been through some stuff, until you've been through some stuff, you can't tell me nothing. I can't ask advice from somebody that don't know nothing, that ain't been through nothing. It's like, if you've never experienced a death in the family, you help the next person truly through the mourning and the grieving process. You can't. Now, when you've experienced a close death in the family, I don't care what family member it is, at that point, then you do so. I remember when my father passed 9 years ago, the church I'm half going to, half not. It's a long story. The pastor of that church, he had lost his mother, but they never really dealt with that. So he really didn't even know how to grieve, because he was like 9 when he lost his mom, and his father at the time. I mean, he's older than me, so he was probably at this point in his mid to late 50s. So he never really understood the grieving process. They never really let the young man grieve when he was a young man. And so when my father passed, he had no capability. I was dating a man, well, he was young. Yeah, he was. But anyway, I was dating a young man, and he had never lost anybody, so he couldn't help. He couldn't do anything. There was no comfort for me. He had never lost anybody. You're welcome, Antoinette. No, our time together. So feel free to go on and ask whatever question. So now we're just going to go into the question and answers. This is going to be for the replay later. So I thank you guys that are watching this replay this broadcast later on. I really appreciate you watching. I ask you to please leave me some comments. Comment on this. Consider subscribing to me. But I really want to hear from my empaths. I really want to hear from you. I want to hear what you've been going through. I want to hear this. You leave me comments, questions. I will get back to each and every one of them. And usually we have this teaching on Tuesday nights about this subject. But on this channel, we have teaching on Monday nights at 8 p.m., 9 Central. It's Manifestation Mondays. Tuesdays is Toxic Relationship Tuesdays. Usually Wednesdays are kind of free-for-all. I kind of do whatever. Tend to have some guests, some subscriber guests. Thursdays is Evening Enlightenment at 8 p.m. as well. So that's my weekly schedule. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursday for sure. And then every morning we do a reading. And I got to somehow fit some other readings times into this. So that is what we're here for. Thank you very, very much. Do come back on Thursdays for Evening Enlightenment. That is where we get into other spiritual gifts and other spiritual or spirituality topics. Lately, we've been talking about the aura. And next week, September, what's today, the 20th, right? 19th. So tomorrow's 27th, we'll have Jeremy Anaker back again. We had him this week, and then we will be doing a special teaching on October the 4th. Thank you. Okay, questions? Because that's where I'm going to edit this video. So here we go. If you have any more questions, feel free. I know there's a lag, so I have to wait. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for coming. I mean, everybody that's here, thank you so much for coming and participating. This is wonderful tonight. You get any further questions? I'm trying my best to keep my head above water, and your lack of patience is keeping me from moving. Oh, Brochet, that's some deep insight. Lack of patience usually is a symbol of not trusting that you're going to be provided for. Right? It's almost a worry when you have a lack of patience about something, worried that you're not going to receive it. And so you get into a frantic state trying to create it. Yeah, I'm saying that as you're saying this. Yep, you go too hard and not trusting divine timing. Exactly. Exactly. Brochet, exactly. Okay. Is this hereditary to be an empath? I believe so. To me, spiritual gifts and spiritual traits are just like physical gifts and physical traits. I notice it runs in families strong. Some families very strong. Sometimes we get, some people I've noticed have dropped in, they choose to come into a family bloodline. Like, why did you choose that one? But, you know, maybe it needed an empath. It needed a sprinkle of a little empath here. Got to learn better meditation. I feel I would be further developed in my gift to intuition. Oh, boy. Yes. If we do not become comfortable to quiet our minds and allow our higher selves to commune with spirit, we can't go further. We can't hear because we've got this one moving. When your mind keeps going, we can't hear noise. Yeah, both your, yeah. Yeah, you know what, prayer time, whatever you want to call it, is so critical. It is so critical in your development. We're going to have to do some guided meditation. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of when and how and where. We're going to need to do some good meditation times, classes, something. I got to figure something out. You practice every day. You should. I would tell you something. I used to do, I used to think the same thing too, but sometimes it just takes coming at it in a different way. You could even try too hard to meditate. You could honestly try too darn hard to meditate. I know it's crazy, but it's true. How do you get away from people who do black magic? Rocher, I should just put you. I should put some of you on here on this Google Hangout on it. I don't understand the question. What do you mean, how you get away from them? Are they bothering you? Can you not get out of their circle? I don't know. Are they in your family? Yeah, I don't understand that one. And I'm not trying to be funny. I don't get it because I don't associate with anybody that's black magic. I even sense that they're. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't associate with anybody that does black magic. That I know of. And I don't stand for it. I don't have space for it. Yeah, Brosha, you need to explain that one to me a little bit, baby. Okay. I'm wondering if I should. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay. Yeah, you and I need to have some deep conversations. I see. We had some deep conversations. Okay. All right. I'm gonna sign off here, I guess. I really feel like reading, so I think I might go back in a few minutes, let this one kind of settle. I feel like reading tonight. I'm in the mood. I feel like Wednesday nights should be reading nights. I appreciate you too, Brochet. We need to stay in touch better than we do, baby. You guys, there's so many people that, so many of you that have such great callings on your lives. And I'm so blessed to be around you guys and to be a small part of your growth in ministry and such. I'm really just blessed. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I'm going to let this simmer and sit for a little bit. There's a few things there's mulling around in my spirit. But I am going to come back on, I think, unless Lord tells me minutes, and maybe we'll get some readings done tonight. All right, guys, I hope this helped. Please, your life is crazy. You work day and night, plus you're a single parent. Honey, okay, listen to me. Do not apologize. Don't apologize to me. I am not anyone you have to apologize to. We'll figure it out. In divine timing. There will be appointed times. Okay? Okay, lovies. I will be back, hopefully. If I'm not back tonight, I'll see you tomorrow night. And we'll talk soon, guys. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys. Okay. And do place some comments down below because I'm going to edit this video. So any of the live chats are going to go away. All right. Thanks, guys. I will see you soon. I love each and every one of you. You guys are so wonderful. Oh, thank you, Antoinette. Thank you. I hope you got a chance to subscribe as well. Okay, because I really I want to be sure that you see me. That I see you again too. Okay. All right. I love you guys so much. I will talk to you guys soon. Okay. Bye now.